We've all experienced some sort of hurt in our lives, and it's those past hurts that don't allow us to be the best versions of ourselves. So I want you to stay tuned as I have Robin Bertram on the show today. She is the host of Freedom Today TV show. Stay tuned to learn how to release your emotions. Welcome to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendy Pett. To be visibly fit, one should also be emotionally fit. A good analogy that I like to use, or an illustration of life, is the ocean. I think of the ocean, and when I go to the beach, I look at the ocean, I look at all these waves that are in the ocean. There's small ones, there's big ones, and there's the huge ones that come crashing alongside the shore. But those are the waves that drag anything in its path back to the ocean with it. And that's what can happen with your emotions as well. It can drag you in the current of negativity, if you will, if you allow it. But it is a choice. And so I have today with me my dear friend and spiritual mentor, Robin Bertram. And she is the host of I'm the host of Visibly Fit. She's the host of Freedom Today TV show. And she's an author and speaker, and you're a minister of renewal and healing. And I'm just so excited you're finally here.
Thank you. It's a joy to be here with you, Wendy.
Oh, thank you. Well, I know it was quite a journey to get here. She left at like 3:30 in the morning. So thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. And I have so much to talk to you about, because I know you have this dynamic book, and it's called Shadows Among Us, Discovering the Path to Spiritual Liberation and Wholeness. Yes. And this is a book, this is such an amazing tool. It's well written. You said before the show, we were talking, that this is like 2.5 of your years writing this, but yet it's 15 or 16 of your years in the book. And it's a fabulous tool to incorporate into your life, to have those steps and those in your toolbox, you know, so that you can learn to be the best version of yourself. Because I think that so many times we're stuck in a place because we allow those emotions of our past to keep us and hold us bondage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Wendy. A lot of times, as I've worked with women across the nation, I like to sit down and talk about their past, because invariably women and men will want to hold on to issues that they've dealt with their entire life. And a lot of times we take those issues and we stuff them inside and we deny that they even exist.
Right.
And of course what happens is it affects us in every area of our life. It affects us spiritually, it affects us emotionally, it affects us in our relationships.
Physically.
Yes. And until we start to deal with those emotions, until we start to allow the Lord to bring healing into our heart and open our eyes to the truth of what we're holding on to that's been so hurtful, so damaging. Once we bring those issues into the light, we can deal with them openly and honestly, and lives change.
Right. You know what? I think that's wonderful, because, you know, we all have past stuff.
Yes.
I mean, we've got, you know, skeletons in our closet, so to speak. And it's really about just acknowledging those, right?
Yes.
And being truthful instead of suppressing it. And when we suppress it, our subconscious mind doesn't forget about it.
Right.
It's still playing that out in our mind and in our spirits. And so it has us act in certain actions that we wouldn't normally take because of those suppressed emotions. So when they're released, tell us about how you actually can release those emotions and get rid of them.
Well, the first thing, like you said, is acknowledgement. We can't do anything until we acknowledge that they're there. That's the first step. Denial is an amazing tool. Sometimes it's necessary for a time, but there comes a point in a time in everyone's life where they have to be realistic with the issues that are deep-seated in their hearts.
Deep.
And as I'm working with people, a lot of times it starts with family issues. We tend to hold or harbor resentment against our parents.
Yes.
They were not enough. They didn't know how to meet the demands or the needs that we have. So we have hidden hurts in our hearts. We bury deep because we don't like to acknowledge that we are suffering with resentment against parents.
Or anger.
Anger,
or,
bitterness.
Yes, bitterness, yes.
We store all that in because we can't quite justify our feelings and we don't want to deal with it.
Right.
So what we have to do first of all, Wendy, is really just acknowledge that they're there. And by doing that, sometimes I like to just start with talking with women and having them look honestly at their relationship with their parents and start to let those raw emotions surface and know that it's a safe place, that they can just be open and honest and not feel guilt about feeling the way they felt for all the years.
Right.
Sometimes they have a right to feel the way they felt, especially if they've been abandoned or abused or mistreated. There's things that's happened in their past that allow them to be justified in their actions.
Sure.
But there comes a point in time where we have to walk through forgiveness, Wendy.
Absolutely.
And when we understand that forgiveness is truly for us, it doesn't release someone from the wrong that they committed against us.
Right.
It releases us.
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
my goodness, it's a powerful tool to walk in freedom.
Right.
When people realize that when they're in unforgiveness, that they've barricaded themselves in.
Sure.
That they put up their own block, their own limitation. When they realize the damage that they're doing to themselves, they start to understand it's very important to decide to forgive, and it's that simple.
You know what? It is that simple. It's just that it's like turning on the light switch. It's a decision. But don't you think also forgiveness really starts from forgiving yourself?
Yes.
Because a lot of people hang on to, maybe they, had situations that happened to them, but they still blame themselves for what they did not do. You know what I mean?
I'm so glad you said that. Because that's another very big issue I see often. People
kind of the victim role. Yes,
they come up with their own self-imposed limitations.
Yes.
And Wendy, when they can't forgive themselves, when they're carrying all this feelings of inadequacy because of past failures, they build their own limitations which prevent them from going to that next step
and fulfilling their purpose towards their destiny, right?
Yes, and that's so critical.
It is.
Because we can't even find our own happiness, our own joy in life until we deal with some of these issues and remove our own self-imposed limitations.
That is so powerful, because you know what, Robin? Because what's going on too is when you're so barricaded by your own pain and wounds, then you start carrying not just that anger and resentment to what happened to you, but towards yourself and then anyone else that comes in your path, because then you start blaming. You do the blame game.
Yes.
And so that becomes a problem. It's just like vicious cycle.
It is, and it also creates a barrier. It's actually a barrier where you cannot receive love and you can't give love. So you're stuck in this place of isolation where even in your best relationships, there's only so much that you can give because you've been hurt, because you're carrying that pain and that woundedness. So you can't feel comfortable with trusting. And if you cannot trust, you can't feel the compassion or the love that you need to feel with another person.
That's true.
So you're barricaded in and they're barricaded out.
And you're denying that other person of that gift of giving.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that is a big thing. So you're not only taking it away from yourself, but the person that's trying to give to you.
Yes.
So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak.
Yes.
So I mean, that is powerful stuff. So I think about how clients that I speak with, or we talked about this on the show many times, but the emotions, how people emotionally eat. They stuff their emotions with food or addictions of other kinds, drugs, alcohol, shopping, whatever the case may be. But it's really about releasing those emotions, so you're no longer stuffing them down and you're letting them go.
Yes.
Letting go and just living the life that you're called to live.
Yes.
And it's a process. It's not like, the choice is a flip on the switch, but it's a process, right?
Absolutely.
So we actually want to talk about that process, but I got to take a quick break. And I'm so glad Robin's here with us. But stay tuned, and we'll talk more about releasing these emotions that so many of us hang on to for no good reason. Stay tuned.
Wendy Pett, fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise program. Are you ready to be in the best shape of your life? Tired of fad diets, gym memberships you never use? Now you can transform your body without the need for any equipment. Through my program, you will quickly replace fat with lean muscle, using just your body as your gym. Are you ready? Pam was.
I've lost over 100 pounds with the help of Wendy's Visibly Fit technique.
I travel all the time, and I never thought staying in shape could be this easy.
Wendy's Visibly Fit program has allowed me to stay in great shape in minimum time.
Receive Wendy's new Firm and Fabulous DVD series to sculpt your body, your booty, and your abs, all by using your own body as your gym. And receive the Visibly Fit 7x11 DVD as a bonus. Order now, and you will also get Wendy's detailed nutritional guide and 44-minute MP3 download absolutely free. A $125 value, but order right now, and you'll get the entire package for 2 payments of just $24.99. So call now.
Emotional freedom can really be a reality. And I have Robin Bertram here with me. She's author, speaker, and she's a minister of renewal and healing. And so we were talking right before the break that we were going to share a few action steps to take to create that emotional freedom, because it is a choice. That's the first step, and not having that denial. But what are a few other steps that one can take to start releasing those emotions, those deep embedded wounds and hurts?
Wendy, as we said before, the most important thing is acknowledging the issues are there. Once we acknowledge the issues are there, then we have to start looking again at our past and dealing not only with our parents. We talked about dealing with parents, but there's other relationships that we found hurtful in our past. Sometimes what we have to do is go to people that have actually hurt us and talk to them about it. Be honest with them. Tell them what the issues really are. Tell them how they hurt you. And then you might even have to ask them to forgive you for what you've harbored in your heart.
But again, that's a choice, if they decide to forgive you or not with what you harbored in your heart. But you know, one of the things that I have my clients do whenever I'm coaching them is I will have them actually physically write a letter out to that individual. Now, you may not give that letter to them, but just writing it out on paper is just like freedom.
It's tremendous.
It's just getting that on paper. That's why it's so exhilarating to write a book. You know, it's like therapy. You know, it's just wonderful. You're writing out all your emotions and you're writing out everything, and all of a sudden it's out. It's gone.
And writing allows the comfort of being totally honest. That's another step of freedom.
Honesty.
Learning, Wendy, to be totally honest. Honest first with yourself, honest with others, and honest with God.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes we go through these things and we don't feel like we can even be honest about it because they seem so dark. They seem so futile. But when we learn to open up and be honest, we're freed from that darkness.
And you're absolutely right. And to know that you're not alone. I mean, there are so many people that we all have pains and suffering that we've gone through in our past. But, you know, to know that you're not alone in whatever you're going through is huge. And that, I think, is comforting, you know? I mean, not just that you're not alone because you have God and His strength and His love, but in grace and mercy, but you have other people that have experienced similar situations.
And then another step is learning to stop the negative self-talk.
The sabotaging.
Oh my goodness.
It's the worst.
That is one issue that I deal with.
Women especially. Oh my gosh, my hair. Just talking about just the physical. Think about what we do internally about everything else.
We do. We convince ourselves with this negative self-talk all day long. And then we have to go into the marketplace, or we have to go into our work environment or in our home and be good role models and good employees.
You put on that little smiling mask like nothing's wrong. How you doing? I'm fine. How are you?
But Wendy, we have a choice.
Take off the mask.
We have a choice there. We can capture those negative thoughts. We can throw them out. We can replace them with positive thoughts. We can replace them with what we know is true. We're valuable. We're important. We have a mission in life. We count.
We were created with greatness in mind. I mean, absolutely true.
And when we start to understand that and get that in our spirit, then we can start projecting that to others around us. And we put away the false pretense, what you're talking about, that
nobody's
smiling
perfect.
face.
No one's,
So true.
Right.
And everyone has issues, Wendy. And I think when we come to the realization that everyone has issues, it's just learning to deal with the issues.
Right.
Then we can put away the false persona that we carry. That's a very important issue because women tend to feel the pressure. They judge themselves according to someone else's. Yes.
The other mask that they see across the room smiling back at them when they've got that same or a similar issue.
Exactly. So I think being honest with others and with ourselves is very important. Learning to put away the negative talk, learning to trust, and that's a big thing.
And trust yourself.
Absolutely, and that can be a really challenging mission when you decide to step out in faith and trust people, because it takes a certain amount of confidence to even go in that direction. But you can. Once you make the decision to trust, then you can allow people into your life, and you don't have to wear the false persona.
Right, and when you understand that people will hurt you, you know, and it just happens. So, but to always have that barricade up and that wall, to not ever allow someone in your life and allow that forgiveness and that grace and mercy, then you're never going to get further along into what you're called to do, because you're still so closed up. So, you know, knowing that you can't control others is a big step too.
And what you're saying is critical, because we need to be forward looking instead of looking at the past. And that's another key, a real key, Wendy, to healing. And people can make that decision. Okay, the past is in the past. I've dealt with it. I've tried to make things right with everyone that I could possibly make them right with. Once that's done,
time to move forward.
Look forward and refuse, Wendy. Refuse to look back, because that's the only way you can walk into your true identity and your true purpose and mission in life.
Which each one of ours is completely unique. You know, I mean, I have people, and we were talking about this earlier, that are clients that say, I don't know what my purpose is. And they feel overwhelmed with feeling like they need some grandiose purpose. And you know what? Everyone's purpose is grandiose. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom or if you're a janitor at a school. If you're always impacting lives. So be where you are and be the best at what you're doing where you're at.
Absolutely. Wendy, that's critical. And another thing I see, a common misconception is oftentimes people think they can get to the final destination without the work in between. So there's a level of dedication and work that comes along with as you're trying to find your mission.
Well, see, now those people that I've seen that aren't wanting to do the work, those are the ones that are self-medicating. Because they just want to be numb to the whole reality. And when you become numb to that, I mean, don't you agree? Those feelings and those emotions do not go away. It's just you're numb for the moment. And then eventually you're going to have to face it. So you might as well just face it at hand and not.
That's the key, because medication allows us not to deal with the real issues. And what my book is about and what my mission is about is helping people deal with their real life issues. I had an example I'd like to share with you. I had a woman who had been addicted to drugs. She shot up every day for 7 years, Wendy.
Oh my word.
7 years, every day. And in one prayer, she was completely healed and set free of 7-year drug addiction. So it's very possible.
Yes,
it's very possible. Change can happen.
Change can happen. And you know what? She was a willing spirit. And she was so broken, she was ready. And that's really the message today is, are you willing? Are you willing to receive and to let go of all the stuff that's keeping you pressed and held down? Because it really can just be a prayer and a choice, and boom, instantaneous. So I'm very excited about that. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing. Well, I want to, we got to take a break real quick, but when we come back, I want to share, because you know this is about being visibly fit, so we talk about health too. So I want to show you all one of my favorite health drinks that will help with your emotional distress. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Wendy Pett, founder of Grace in Action. Did you know that the government calculated the cost of raising your children is over $160,000 per child? That equates to $8,896 per year, $741 per month, $171 per week. And broken down even further, that's $24.24 a day. That's a little over $1 an hour a day to raise a child. This calculation doesn't even include college tuitions. Grace in Action is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to assisting single moms and kids in need. Grace in Action doesn't just provide the funds to get single moms on their feet again, but also the tools necessary for training in order to reach short and long-term goals. To learn more about Grace in Action, go to graceinaction.org. The need is larger than you may even realize. No gift is too small. Thank you in advance for your gracious support. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm Wendy Pett, and we're here with Robin Bertram. And before the break, we were talking about emotions and how so many times we tend to harbor those emotions and stuff them. And sometimes we stuff them with food and the wrong kinds of food. So I wanted to bring you guys in the kitchen and show you what I do daily. And Robin's like, really? You do this every day? And I do. I juice every day. And this is really what your body is asking for. When you're in emotional distress, disorder kind of a state of being, this is what your body needs. It needs proper nutrients and vitamins so that you can move past those anxiety feelings, all those overwhelmed feelings. This is what your body's really asking for. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to whip this up real quick. It's a little bit loud, and Robin's never had one of these before, but my 10-year-old son even drinks these, so they're good. You're going to like them. She's like, uh-oh. So basically all we do is we take a beet. And I was warned that this is a really sharp knife. Hopefully it is. And it is. And I usually cut it in half because it can be a little overbearing. It's pretty strong. So bend that in. You take in, put the leaves in there, everything, because it's got so much nutrients. And then you're actually going to, hang on, let me get everything ready before I turn on this obnoxious machine. So then actually I take some ginger. And you take just about this much.
And you don't have to peel?
No, you don't have to peel it because this just juices it all out, okay? And then you take some parsley here. I just take like a little pinch of it. I wrap this in the parsley, like so. And then we're going to start stuffing all this in here, okay? Okay. So you're like, okay, here we go.
Give it a try.
Okay, again, this is going to be loud, but here we go. Okay, you hold the cup right here so it doesn't splatter on us, okay? So we'll put the parsley and the ginger. Wow, oh my, she says. And then we're going to put, it is powerful. Maybe we'll go low. Should we go low? We're going to go low on this one. Oh, this is hilarious. This is my dad's juicer. Mine is at my house.
Oh, it's working.
Yeah, it's working. Come on, juicer. Really, this is normally really easy. Okay, when you're with a juicer you're not familiar with, it's not so easy. Okay, now we put in 2 carrots. Those are nice and sweet. We put in celery. It's got a lot of water and celery to make more juice. I've never laughed so hard in all my life. Okay, now we're going to take 3 strawberries because that really sweetens it up. Put that in there, and then also a half of an apple. And then we'll let Robin see what she thinks. I'm going to do 2 more carrots.
Okay.
Just for fun. Come on. Okay, this is hilarious.
That is fun.
Okay, this isn't my juicer. My juicer really, it's different. But this worked.
It looks wonderful.
Oh, really? Are you kidding me? It really doesn't look that great, but it tastes really great. So I'm going to let Robin try it. Okay, there you go. And again, this has a lot of the vitamins and nutrients that your body is requesting. It's calling for this. It's hungry for this when you're in that emotional distress.
That's good. It is surprisingly
See, you heard it.
good.
It is good. I knew she'd like it. It is really good. I love this. It makes your teeth nice and pink.
It's very refreshing.
It is refreshing. Yeah, you can drink it cold, put some ice in it if you want, crush up some ice even if you want, depending on what juicer you have. But it's very good. A lot of people in midday, they go through that slump, and what do? They reach for something in the vending machine or something that has a sugar pick-me-up. This has sugar in it because of the carrots and the apple and that kind of thing, but it's natural sugar. So this is the way to go. And again, it's refreshing, and it's exactly what your body is asking.
Delicious.
Good.
I'm surprised.
We got the thumbs up from Robin. That's good. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is, making the best use of your time. So when you're in the kitchen, because I know you're always slaving away in the kitchen, Robin.
I love to cook.
Yes, that's good. Well, I love to cook too, but sometimes it's very time consuming. So what can you do while things are boiling on the stove and when things are in the oven baking? What else can you do to stay in shape, right? We should utilize that time and do a few exercises. So I'm going to rat on you a little bit. Robin hasn't worked out for 8 years, right? Isn't that what you said?
That's true, Wendy. I hate to admit it, but that's true.
But I'm going to show you basically just doing a push-up right off of your island or off the side of your where you do your cutting board, whatever it is, your cabinets. I want you to go right here. Your hands are here about shoulder width apart, okay? And you're just going to slowly go down into a push-up, okay? It's all very slow and controlled, and then you bring it back. Your stomach is in tight. Good. Snap, crackle, pop. Gotta love that. Good. So you'll do 8 to 10 of those, okay?
Not bad.
It's not bad at all. And that way you're not doing a full-blown push-up if you haven't worked out in a while. This is an easy way of easing back into a workout. Now, you were telling me also that you would like to have some more upper body strength.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you one really quickly before we have to go. This show is flying by so fast. I'm having so much fun with you. Bicep tricep curl. Now, I know that you're not as familiar with what I teach, but I want you to imagine that you have weights in your hand, okay? And I want you to slowly squeeze, and I want you to bring those invisible weights up, and I want you to squeeze the biceps right here. Good. Keep on going. Keep going. Yeah, you're shaking. Keep going, keep going, keep going, all the way up, and then you bring it slowly down.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
And you don't need any equipment.
Oh my goodness.
And then you can take it to the side, and it works your biceps and your triceps at a different angle. Okay? So these are things that you can do. They're simple, they're fun, but when you work your workout into your work day or your play day or your cooking day, then it's really going to incorporate a healthy lifestyle, and it's going to help with emotional distress.
Absolutely.
It's all about taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit to become visibly fit. So I'm so grateful for Robin for being here. Check out her website, check out her book, and tell me the title of it again.
Shadows Among Us.
Shadows Among Us. So what's the subtitle?
Discovering the Path to Wholeness and Liberation.
Awesome. Can't wait for you to read it. Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Visibly Fit.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.